maybe I think it's about time that I tell you the story why I used to hate books, why how I used to hate reading books, but not necessarily self-help books, but more like novels, right? So this came out of an interview that I did with Wade, my friend, right? Nothing wrong with nothing wrong with anybody who don't read books. However they consume content, that's up to them. Um, for me, I'm more flexible. I don't. People kind of okay. So I want to get it out there. I don't just consume books. I'm more flexible with my learning. I don't just read books, but I do most of the things that would seem crazy. I do hands-on. I do learning from audio, and I do learn from video too. It's just not from books. But books is one of those. Uh, it's my passion. But so there was when I interview Wade, nothing wrong with that. He was saying he don't read books. That's okay. And then but I was like, you know what? And then after that, I inject my idea. I used to hate books, right? So I got the idea of I wanted to create this video for those people who uh, don't understand why I read books, and that people don't consume content, consume book like I do, or consume information and knowledge like I do. Now, reading books doesn't make me a nerd. Reading books make me different. Meaning, if you party your life away, that means you're just like everybody else. Now, I wasn't forced. So here's the thing: I wasn't forced to consume self-help books or personal development, but I was forced to read school books, like meaning textbooks. And textbooks are dry, and I usually hate them because you don't understand. Like self-help books make it easy to digest and to understand to implement. Self-help means do it yourself, to be able um, to take that knowledge to implement into your life. Reading books is useless. Having knowledge in your head is useless until you act on it, right? So back then, when I was a kid, I used to. I think back when I was in sixth grade, right? Either sixth grade. I remember I went to a grocery store. I pick up um, a Shonen Jump magazine. What is Shonen Jump? Shonen Jump is a magazine with these type of books right here that I hold in my hand. You know what this is? This is manga. It is from Japan. I used to read them every time. I don't. I would buy these books every time. I'm usually I would read. I will. My hobby used to be collect movies. I used to have 600, 800 movies. I used to have a lot of books like these, right? These books are not like American comics. They're more like colorless um, picture comics, right? They move or they have words and they have action in it. That's why I like them, right? Let me see action, right? I used to read this every day, but I still keep them for the reminder of me more. Is I used to actually try to draw these type of things. Back there, you see all those Dragon Ball Z Gohan and Vegeta and Gaara and all those little like anime. I I do draw now and then, but I don't draw the whole thing anymore. My passion is just uh, to be able to express myself fully. Uh, so I used to hate books because I was it's interesting. I realized I'm going to ask people all this. I'm going to ask, so why do you hate reading books? So there is somewhere in your life, if you look back in your life, you hate reading. There's a reason. I was listening to my friend and mentor, and I listened to him, and I said, yeah, he don't like reading because if it's required, meaning he was forced to read. But if he reads something that he's interested in, of course he'll read. That's my point. I'm trying to get to you and everybody who hate reading. it's not the fact that you hate reading, it's that you are forced to read the thing that you don't like. Now, if you read something that you do like, of course you'll be interested in, because that's what your favorite in, and you read it. It doesn't matter. It could be like your favorite book, and you consume the content the whole day. I used to read this the whole day. I will finish it. If I bought 4 books, I'll finish in a day because I love it. But reading this one is good, but it doesn't. But it doesn't change the fact that I read self-help books. Now I know people get tripped up on reading. For the fact that is, if I read, you know what the advantage that will have? Meaning, if I do read, what the advantage what I will have? Well, for those who stop reading at college or stop reading at high school and never will pick up a book again, I'll have an advantage that they don't have. But I'm still learning. I'm disrupting me. I'm disrupting my life. Meaning, I'm changing, molding my life the way I want it to, not be forced into a circumstance that I want to be in. You know, most people are forced to be in a circumstances that they don't want to be in, and they don't have a choice. But then again, you see, injecting with new ideas is where it changes your field of perception. When you change your perception, it changes your behavior, right? And so here's the thing. I used to hate books. I remember I was back in middle school, I was reading some novel, but it wasn't like deeply. The reason why I used to hate it because I hear my peers say or that they hate books is uncool to read. And then I realized if those who say like it's not cool to read, then they will have a terrible life. Because as Jim Rohn says, you know, those who what was it? He said this. When those people who what was it? Party, you study. While people soak up the sun, you soak up good ideas. It become me, meaning like those who don't consume content or information or knowledge, you know, later in the future they probably have problem with their marriage, their money issues or financial issues or kid issues or their life issues. I won't have that problem. I will have a different problem, but I won't have their problem. So oh yeah, so you don't know what type of book this is? It's Rurouni Kenshin. It's a really good book. It's about a swordman who vowed never to kill again. It's a great book. He was a Tosai, but I won't explain that too deep. This is a great book. It's not really action. It's based on game board. It's a Chinese game board. It's a really good book. And of course, the usual Dragon Ball Z, Gohan. I like Gohan. Dragon Ball Z, if you don't know, it's where this Goku. Well, I didn't read Dragon Ball, but I read Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people know Dragon Ball Z. Now, let's go with personal development. And, okay, so now the type of books I read now, it's more like because I have lots of learning curve to learn. I mean, there's a lot of things that I need to learn, but my favorite is I want to learn Japanese, right? When I was learning Japanese, I didn't have all the information, but now it's pretty cool. This book is really good for learning Japanese. It's very simple. So there's learning to do, because most people don't learn anymore. And this is novel. You already know what it is. If not, pretty good book. It's novel. It's for pleasure. I'm here to learn, so I have these 2 books, and I have this book. If you don't know what that is, you should get it. It's about the self-made billionaire effect. It's very interesting. Billionaires read a lot. They do read a lot. Oh yeah, I forgot why I get the habit of reading. So a lot of people bash me on reading. First of all, it's what I love to do. So please, I don't bash on well, maybe I do, but uh, I watch TV or movies, stuff like I still do. Just that I rather get this in my head so I know where to navigate where my life is. These books is where to help you navigate the hardship of life. It's these books sometimes, like this book, inspire you to become great, to 10x your thinking. It's about mindset, right? To be able to see the bigger picture of your life. And the reason why I like reading now is it started with Les Brown. Les Brown is a motivational speaker and he's really famous. He got me into it. He said start reading a book about inspirational stuff and put in positive messages into your mind so it disrupts the story that you have, right? That's what I do. I disrupt the story that I have, the negative day to day that we have in our mind. And my favorite also Brian Tracy, who read a lot. If you don't know who Brian Tracy is the CEO of his own company, international and best-selling author. But he also read a lot. He reads. And for those who say, so I want to make my point too. My Bob Proctor, if you don't know who Bob Proctor is, he also read. If you okay, so for those who hear these people, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, these are people who I look up to, and they all read, and they tell you to read. They all read. If you look at Bob Proctor, his house, he have full bookshelf of books. If you look at Jack Canfield, he have you don't know who Jack Canfield is. He's the author of he was in the movie The Secret. He in his house he have a whole book office. He have books everywhere. And then Bob Proctor said study. So that's why I studied, because of Bob Proctor. I look up to him. And Tony Robbins, if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's really, really big in the personal development. He reads. He used to read 700 books. Napoleon Hill said you got to read. So I don't know why people get tripped up in the personal development. Now, for those who I hear this. Gary Vaynerchuk don't read. Of course he doesn't read. He said that, right? He doesn't. He said he don't read. But here's the thing: he may not be reading, but when he interview other people in his genre or whatever he's doing interview, he's actually gaining knowledge through observation, through listening, and through his video if you want to watch it. So I don't know what people hate knowledge for. It's just that. Okay, so here's the thing that most people get tripped up. They want experience, right? They want to feel experience. Why can't I have knowledge, and experience it too? Why do we live in a world that's so scarcity mentality? Why can't we have like reading, and why can't we consume content and experience it too? I mean, that's the world I want to live in, not this black and white. Oh, I want to experience it. The only reason why is this because that's all they know. Now, don't feel this cognitive dissonant, meaning you feel uncomfortable. My take on is this: I don't have enough time on this earth. I don't have time on this earth to experience all by myself, right? I want to be able. Where I get this idea? Well, I got it from Brian Tracy, where he got it from Cop Meyer, where he said you don't have time to experience it all. You have to. These books or these self-help books are allowing me to compress time and decades, which I don't have. And for those who argue with me and say, yeah, but I'd rather have experience. First of all, I used to say that too. When I used to quote unquote know it all, I used to say I need more experience. But needing more experiences doesn't lead you to live a better life. It just lead you to a. I remember everybody quote Albert Einstein. To solve a problem, you have to go to another level of thinking, because the level of thinking that you have now is um, where it got you there. So in order to inject new ideas into your mind, you have to be able to understand that the only reason why people say they hate books is because they don't see a value in the book. But I do see value in the book. If you be able to understand about pattern recognition, about experience, about incorporating all this knowledge and turn it into experience and then become wisdom. And I don't want the end of my life, I don't want to be able to say, I wish I could have known that. For me, I'm a curious person. The only reason why I'm curious now because something happened in 2013. I have awoken. Now you may sound weird, but I awoken to the fact that everybody do the same thing, everybody think the same thing, everybody talk the same thing. I don't want to be the same as everybody else. I mean, I don't want to follow the crowd and I don't want to live the life that everybody else follow. It's not who I am anymore. I want to diverge into someone I never. I need to become someone I never been. I need to become someone I want to admire. I want to become someone that I will be able to pass my knowledge. Oh yeah, that's also the reason. In the future, the reason why I'm accumulating knowledge uh, and books is so that I can pass on to my kids if if I have kids, so I can pass on to them because I never have knowledge like this growing up. I never understand all these intricacies of knowledge or understanding about what is money, what happened in the history of money, or why do people do certain things, why people buy these things and stuff like that. I want to know and why. And also, when I got into reading, I got deep. Really, I consumed the world of self help a lot. I dive deep on trying to read on the brain, how to speed read, how to psychology. I really try to use the memories, a lot of things. And I realized when I read these stuff, I learn how to learn. I unlearn I unlearn what I have learned from society, teachers, and parents. They're not all bad. It's just that the knowledge that they have now it's useless in the society's way of winning. So that's pretty much it. Have you dug? I mean, Gary is an exception. I like Gary, so it doesn't matter. So just remember that books aren't evil. They're your friend. And if you don't like a book, that's okay. Just remember, it's your choice to learn or not. It's your choice. You have the freedom to choose whatever you want to choose. But I would remind you to create a lifestyle that you do want. You have to either try to figure out how to inject new knowledge inside you, whether it's that through YouTube videos, through Google or blogs and stuff like that, and books. But if you don't like read books, then audio. But if you don't like audio, then video. Look, you're still consuming content. So don't. A lot of people complain to me. So don't complain to me. Just if you don't want to learn, that is okay. Correct. So that's up to you if you don't want to. If you're here, if you're serious about your life, if you're serious about wanting to change your life, then that's what you should be doing, changing your life. So that's pretty much it, my rant for today for reading why I read books and why I used to hate reading books. Now I love reading books. Da 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 da. Because I look up to these people like Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy. They all read. And Jack Canfield. Well, subscribe to my channel, like my video because I talk about book reviews, the law of attraction, and other crazy stuff that I want to do. I'll see you in a minute. Bye bye.